HyzerMedia's coverage of the final round, round 4 here at the Norse Gods Championship 2022. This tournament is sponsored by Essential PA Disc Golf. We are at Shiprock in Willow Street, Pennsylvania. Thank you to our Patreons for supporting this coverage. I'm Dave Oster, here to bring you the coverage with Kevin Gleason for this final round. Are you excited, Kevin?
Very excited. Thank you again for the invite. I've enjoyed every single round I've been able to commentate with you. Now let's see who has made it to the final lead card. Here's Lucas throwing a verdict over the trees. Dylan and I believe Mike Moser are all tied for first place at -25. Dylan and this young man right here, Ethan, I believe both shot 11 downs in the previous round.
Yes, very hot rounds, three-way tie for the leads, setting up for a very exciting final round of this tournament. We'll get started as we always do on hole 1, par 4, 703 feet. Most of these players are going to try to hit the gap that the drone just flew through. And then second shot, getting up to the basket to give the birdie. Lucas, if he does the same play that he did yesterday's round, will likely try to go over the top.
Okay, first up is Dylan after shooting the hot round the day before. I believe Dylan has his destroyer in his hand. And if I remember correctly from the previous round, I believe he goes down the middle. Or maybe around.
Yeah, I believe he tries to take the wide route and just get out into that field.
Correct, yeah. He goes the wide route, pushes it all the way around the trees. Mike will also have a destroyer in hand and will most likely go down the middle. And if that stays clean, that'll be all the way down to the bottom. And this young kid right here, Lucas, will probably go over the top with a verdict. And that's exactly what he is trying to do. It amazes me. I just can't believe it. That's not even a shot. I said it last time. It's not even a shot I think about. And here's Ethan. This is the first time I've seen him play on coverage. Looks like he put a nice little line on it. Maybe a little skip out to the front, push through. Maybe a little bit short.
Yeah, I think you got caught up in that last couple trees right there. But left side, I think you might actually have the gap we saw yesterday. I think it was Jake Ritchie got a line through there.
Mike going up shot with AVR. He can get behind the tree, but he'll have about a 18 to 20 footer. Now, Ethan's a little pinched off where he is, but there are a few lines. I actually had to use a line like he's doing right here to actually get my birdie during this round. So even if you come in a little early, hit a tree, there is a chance of still getting up and down for the birdie. And Lucas almost throwing in the eagle, which it still amazes me he's going verdict over those trees. And that's the way you want to start off on coverage. First hole hitting about a 40, 45 footer.
Yeah, great putt for Ethan. Obviously not in a great position. Had to almost kind of pitch out to the field to not be able to get too close to the basket, but making good on that long putt.
Yeah, Dylan was just a little bit high. Mike's a little pinched off on the tree, but looks like he's got enough for him to stretch out. And good putt by Mike. He's probably 25 feet out. Lucas making the hole easy.
Yeah, if you can jump putt your second throw over 703-foot hole, you know you're doing something right.
Very much so.
So we'll move on to hole 2, par 3, 302 feet. Pretty much a forehand, maybe a backhand turnover for Mike Moser. Got to get out the gap and then get the right angle and distance to get near the pin to try to get your birdie. Obviously, we saw the river there. If you go too far, it is out of bounds.
And Mike has his road runner and going roller. And like I've said in previous coverage, Mike will throw a roller from anywhere.
Yeah. And it's pretty thick grass down there. Lucas probably
has his felon. Yeah, that looks pretty good coming out of Lucas's hand. That line looks really good. He should be fairly close. And it sounds like some people are clapping, so I'm going to say he is very close. Looks like Ethan's lining up with some kind of mid-range or maybe even putter. And if that thing's got some stability to it, he should be just fine with that shot. And he aces it. Yeah, that was a great shot. Good shot, Ethan.
If I saw correctly, it looked like it said A2 on the top of that disc, so I think you're right with the putter.
Okay, and it looks like Dylan's going with the zone. Overstable mid-range, just pops it out with a little bit of anhyzer and flights back to the right. And
I actually brought up my forehand disc.
I think there's just a couple of feet from the basket there.
3 pumps for Mike on this one. Kind of stalled, but that was a great line. I thought that was him when he released. Yeah, it looks like Dylan's about 20 feet away. Putting with the new birdie Marvel. And he's actually got his the mustache on this one for his signature stash disc. So I'm sure he would love the support if anybody picks one up.
Yeah, that's a nice disc. I actually got one at an event earlier this year, and it's actually what I putt with as well.
Very nice. And yeah, that's why everybody was clapping for Lucas. It looks like he's 2 feet away.
Oh, yeah, absolutely parked.
Really good shot. Mike cleaning up his par. Everybody else birdied. It looks like everybody's still fairly close. Going on to hole 3, par 3, 268 feet. You pretty much just want to hit any of the gaps right off the tee. Some people are going to go sidearm. Some people are going to go backhand. As long as you get through the trees, and if you hit a tree and kick right, you could go down the mountain. It'll be very hard to get up and down for even your par. Looks like Lucas is going felon here, so I think he's going to probably force it over a little bit and let it cut through, and it looks like he threw it very clean.
Yeah, he'll probably be somewhere on that left side. Left side's pretty clear if you actually get up there. An easy par if you don't obviously roll down the hill. But if you're trying to get all the way up there, you got to push it further right where there's kind of tighter gap, more room to get all the way up there.
Let's see. I must say Dylan either has his Wraith or Max. And depending, it looked like it was turning like a Max. Mike going Destroyer. Looks like it flipped up a little bit, caught a tree, but easy up and down. It looks like even Ethan got a good kick off to the left a little bit ago. Dylan's laying right in the middle of the fairway. He should have a fairly easy bird shot right up to the basket that stays clean. And I love this little thing they got built there so you don't roll down the mountain every time you do an upshot.
Yeah, I'm sure plenty of discs would go down there, even on perfect shots before that.
And Ethan has left himself a tester for his par putt. And Mike actually got a good push up the hill, pretty easy upshot for him. And it looks like Lucas actually pushed up the hill a little bit. Lucas hit an early tree, but I don't think he's been about 15 feet away.
Yeah,
Here's Ethan to say par. And it's just so tight. There's so many trees. It's uphill. Again, it's the first couple days of heat that we've had in the year. You know, we're going from winter to something warm, and that was a good 3 from Lucas.
You can see the sun is out today for this round. It wasn't for the earlier round. Maybe towards the end it came out, but it was full blazing for this round. So heat definitely going to be a factor.
Whew. I think that was a little bit more work than he wanted on that bogey putt. Dylan and Mike dropping in pars. And then we'll head up to hole 4. And there's the drop off. If you hit it, can roll all the way down to the bottom. And here we are at hole 4, 723 feet. Left side's OB right past this road you see, and the right side is very thick. So we're trying to get a shot off that lands somewhere here around the short pad, right around here somewhere. If you're Lucas, you're probably trying to push a little bit farther right here. Tight upshot coming into the woods, but getting a birdie here is very possible.
Yep, certainly doable. And thank you to Lancaster County Disc Golf Club for sponsoring this hole, and of course for all they do for the courses and tournaments in this area.
I think Lucas is going orbit right here, and it looks to be a little bit left. That's probably pushing the OB.
Yeah, I think that did cross over the line.
Got Dylan with his destroyer again. Little flip on that, and Dylan himself has some good power behind his throw, so he can get up there to 500 feet himself.
Yeah, if you're getting a Halo Destroyer to flip a little bit, you got some power behind you.
Yes, you do. Mike looks like he went overstable, maybe destroyer, pushing it out to the right and letting it fall back left. And, you know, that's a good shot. He'll probably be 350 feet out, maybe 300 feet out from there. And Ethan putting a nice line on that one, putting himself out on the left side. Left side seems to be a little bit better because you can get a little push in hyzer from that side. Mike throwing something to flip up and try to penetrate through the woods. And it looks like he almost made it in. He's probably about 40 foot. And I didn't realize it, but it looks like Dylan had pushed a little bit to the right. So I would expect him just trying to pitch out, maybe try to save a par. Ethan back here in a really good spot. Looks like he got a little bit high on it. It needs to sneak through, and it got knocked down. And so, yeah, I guess Lucas was out of bounds. But he has a very good chance of saving his par after
He
that
had
upshot.
beautiful forehand.
Looks like Dylan's flicking his zone. Needs to slow down, and it did. Looks like Ethan had a little, was able to put a little bit on that. Mike's probably 45 out. That looks probably a foot or two short.
Yeah. This is a tricky green because you see obviously dirt around the basket and a little bit low grass, but as soon as you get more than 10 or 15 feet out, the grass gets real long. So playing the ground play, deciding what to do is tricky because if you come even just a few feet shorter than you expected, you're going to stop a lot quicker. Or if you go a few feet longer than you expected, you could skip and go a lot longer than you expected.
Yeah, and you can see the hill as Dylan's running up it from the backside. Dylan with his birdie. Ooh, almost a little too low, but it snuck in there. Might clean up par.
So that will do it for hole 4. Moving to hole 5, par 3, 244 feet. Big sky hyzer over the old foundation, trying to land on the hill of a green. If you go too far or too short to the right, it's a pretty steep slope that these discs are going to probably roll down or fall down. But the tall grass is your saving grace for this hole. And thank you to Home Again Disc Golf for sponsoring this hole.
Yeah, it looks like Lucas went harp. Dylan's got his zone in his hand. Lucas actually slid back a little bit. So the farther you go down the backside of that hill, the harder it really is to get to birdie. Dylan's going the much higher route, trying to crash straight down in on top of the hill. And I think that's on the edge of the hill also.
Yeah, it looks similar position to Lucas.
Mike's going with something a little bit faster, trying to just get it up and down and spike. So he hit the block wall, but he still made it up top, it looked like.
I don't know if it hit the wall or if it hit the top of the basket. They're kind of right in the same height.
Oh, okay.
Short right for Ethan.
Yeah, and I've been in the spot he's in right here, and it's tough. Looks like he might have a little line at it, though. That was an unbelievable putt. He put a great spin on that. I'd be running up that hill myself. Good putt, Ethan. And Lucas going to 28 down. Mike and Dylan 26 and Ethan at 25. Here's Dylan to have a chance to go to 27. Good putt by Dylan. And I guess Mike's going to be a little closer than that after hitting the wall or the basket. Yeah, he wasn't that far away at all.
Yeah, fortunate, because if you hit either of those, you could easily skip far. It looked like it skipped up and then kind of straight down next to the basket. So good result for him.
Good hole. Okay, going on to hole 6, par 5, 853 feet. You're trying to get something to go through here and land somewhere around here. You got OB around the whole way up the left side, OB all the way up the right side. Your second shot, you can really just unload. Just don't throw it OB and get yourself within 250 feet of the basket. And there is a little bit of OB long.
Thank you to Reflexion for sponsoring this hole.
That looks like a great shot from Lucas. Another good shot from Dylan.
And these guys look like they're landing right in the right spot. More so they want to get out past the corner on the right than they do necessarily pushing far right. Because it is a par 5, so they have the strokes to get up there. But they're just trying to get past the corner so they don't have to worry about the out of bounds too much on their second shot.
Yeah, it looks like Mike caught one of the early trees with his roller. And looks like Ethan might have got caught up also. Mike's going back-to-back rollers, trying to get around for that tree is out there in the field you see is the OB line.
Oh, he hits the rope through out of bounds. It looks like he went all the way, cut the corner, and he's back inbound on the other side.
Yeah, Mike was inbounds. I was actually standing right off to the side coming down hole 7 and gave him the all clear. I know he was a little bit upset about that second shot in that first shot. This is one of those holes that you really want to get because it's not that long of a par 5. It's just uphill. You just got to throw 3 good shots to get up there to get a putt. And Dylan and Lucas will be able to unload on this. I expect them to be within 200 feet of the basket once they go to their third shot. And that kid has a snap on his release.
Oh, yeah, incredible. You can, obviously, it's a very audible snap when you're standing there. Definitely you can, like I said, hear the power coming out of this kid.
And Mike probably a bit far out to get the birdie. I'm sure he'll be happy after those 2 first shots to say par. So hopefully he can get up and down for his par. Ethan on his second shot just barely squeaked by the OB also.
Yeah, for as wide of a fairway this is, it certainly seems to come and play a lot.
Because you're trying to actually put something on it. You're trying to throw hard. You're trying to go out of your comfort zone and just push, get that extra 50 feet. So,
right.
Yeah. And like I said, Dylan's not even 200 feet away. And now I don't think he's but about 5 feet away.
Yeah, drops the dime.
Mike looks to be about 100, which means I guess Lucas will have an eagle putt from where he's at. Yeah.
Yeah, incredibly far.
60-footer. And I'm not so sure he just wasn't laying that up.
Yeah, maybe a half bid. Give it a go.
Yeah.
If not, keep it close. Doesn't have to have a stressful birdie putt. Just a bit low for Ethan.
Yeah, dropped a little bit soon, caught that right edge. And Mike to save his part and pushed it a bit right. Lucas for birdie, gonna go to 29. Dylan has drop in. We'll probably go to Dylan has a putt. Mike will drop down to 26. So 29, 28, 26, and probably 25 for Ethan.
Yeah, got a tight race at the top. Everybody's obviously within a couple strokes. And we are a third of the way through this final round.
Okay.
Moving over to hole 7, par 4, 696 feet. Pretty much just showing a flat to hyzer shot, trying to get near this tree line we can see on the left. Hopefully lining up through one of these gaps so you can set yourself up for your second shot to get close to the basket, not go too far, avoid the out of bounds line on the left, and try to get a birdie.
Let's see if Lucas is going felon or arrive. He has the power to get a felon there. Can't. So far. That's such a good landing spot too for him.
He's probably in that furthest landing gap past the second tree.
Dylan getting that destroyer. It looks to be a little bit tight. Hopefully it has the distance to stay in bounds. That's going to be close. Looks to be a good line Ethan just put on. Push a little farther. Maybe through the gap.
Yeah, it looked like maybe snuck right past that corner.
Mike pushing out a destroyer, looking for it to come back. Puts him in a good spot. He'll have the one tree to mess with. And it looks like Dylan might have been OB, maybe not. He's right there on the out of bounds line. Such a smooth turnover. Look at that thing fall and just S back and almost go in.
Beautiful shot from Mike.
Yeah, where Ethan is right here is for somebody who can throw sidearm, this is the perfect spot to be. You're just pushing it out, letting it push right to the basket. He looks like he might have got a little bit wide on it, but he should have a putt. Lucas has his harp in his hand, putting it out, letting it come back. And that looks to be about pin high. I know he pushed it a little bit long in the round before.
Mike almost ringing it up from far, yeah.
Yeah, he did. Ethan looks to be outside the circle. Putting from down there uphill, you can really run at it because it's not really going to get away from you. Age just left that a little bit short. Lucas up. Probably circle's edge. Probably a step or two inside the circle. Taking a little bit extra time on this one. Put the height up correctly. Finished the hole. Good birdie. Puts him at 30 down.
Yeah, he knows how close Dylan is to him in score, so got to make sure he makes that one.
Okay, so Dylan took a par there, so he was out of bounds. Everybody else dropping in for their par.
So Lucas gets another stroke on the card as we move over to hole 8, par 3, 358 feet. up and over a blind hill, trying to land near this grouping of trees by the basket. Right side is more open, as you can see. Left side, you'll probably have a putt out of it, maybe a little bit of a reach around obstructed putt, depending on where exactly you land.
This is probably Lucas with his felon, just putting out a big hyzer. Something I have to throw a big S on just to get there. He just nonchalant just throws the hyzer.
Out throws the basket. He's over on, I think that's 14's fairway.
Looks like maybe Dylan's going with a max here, which is just an overstable driver. Put it out real high, let it fall in. Kind of the same line that Lucas threw. That looks good.
Oh, it catches
Hard.
the tree. Yeah, absolutely.
So now that I watched Ethan throw a couple times, Ethan's got some good power to him. To throw a hyzer on this 358-foot hole, even though it's a little bit downhill, is tough. And they're, like Mike right there, Mike's putting it out. That looks like to be a good line also. Needs to sit. Mike will have an outside the circle, maybe a step or two inside the circle putt, but I think those couple trees will get in his way. And Lucas really got a hold of that one, or took a flare. And it's so tough. There's so many trees around this basket. It really hides it. You can be 5 feet one way or the other and just not have a putt at it.
Yeah, especially the side where Lucas is. There's the 2 or 3 trees right in his way. So probably did about as best as he could from where he was.
Yeah, gave it a shot, gave it a chance. That was a great shot for Ethan. That was probably the best shot I saw all week. And Mike will be cleaning up par. And we will be moving over to hole 9. Let's see. Hole 9, par 4, 486 feet. All you need to do is get through this little gap right here. And as long as you land anywhere from here or even farther up, fairly easy little sidearm to the basket or turnover putter. At 486 feet, everybody on this card definitely wants to get the birdie on this hole.
Yeah, definitely the gap is the hard part, I think, for these guys to hit. Maybe the shape of their shot, but certainly not the distance. If it was wide open, I'm sure a lot of these guys would be probably trying to park it, given the distance.
Yeah, if there was a little bit less limbs, I could see somebody, Dylan or Lucas putting something up with a hyzer, flip your disc and letting it run to the right. But there's so many limbs right there, you really can't get the height to do it. So you're just trying to pitch around the corner straight ahead and get something in there. Ethan putting a little bit of flip up to his and coming down. It should be just fine right there. I guess. Looks to be like Lucas is going felon. Mike maybe lining up for a roller.
I think he did it yesterday, so why not do it again?
It looks like a good angle.
Yeah, I think as long as you
If
get
that
over
thing
that
kept
tall
going.
grass, yeah, that looked like it was a great angle for him to get up there.
Yeah, and like I said before, as long as you get to right there where Lucas is, or, Dylan's a little pinched off, but he can still probably get up and down from there. I'd like to see where Mike's roller landed. And Mike almost he got pretty far down there with the roller, so easy up and down.
A little later in the summer, some burnt grass probably gave him that extra little 50 feet to give him a bid for a second shot.
Yeah, there's a lot of property out here, so they cut a lot of the grass, but there's still some high spots here and there.
Yeah, early spring, you can't keep up with it. It's growing so fast. The
No, you
grass is
can't.
so lush.
And Lucas just with another nice birdie. Pressure doesn't get to him one bit, it doesn't seem like. Like he's hitting one putt after another.
Yeah, which is even more impressive. Of course, we keep saying his age. These, not just physical skill attributes that he has through his game already at a young age are just setting him up for probably a very good, successful career moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it looked like Mike's got a putt out, but everybody got the birdie on hole 9, which is like I said, a definitely one you want to get. You feel like you bogeyed if you get a 4 on that one.
And Mike's happy about it, and we're happy that you joined us, and hopefully you come over to the back 9, the finale to this 4-round tournament. Thank you to our supporting sponsors, Cabela Design and Tono Group. Thank you for watching, and thank you to Kevin Gleason for joining us.
Thank you again for the invite. Kevin Gleason, team captain, Latitude 64.
Absolutely. We'll see you on the next hole.